Hi everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the Seren launch, particularly the Cardiff students. Congratulations first and foremost from me for being selected to join the Seren Academy this year. You've dealt with an incredibly difficult year and have clearly achieved some fantastic GCSE results in order to be selected and to meet the criteria in order to join Seren. My name is Mrs. Jo Kemp. I'm the Cardiff Seren lead this year, and I'm also assistant head teacher at Fitzallen High School. So very much my journey over the last few years has been to support many of our Seren students, both in my own school and on a wider basis, by getting involved in lots of different activities during the year. So I spend my days, particularly at this time of year, helping students to look forward to their university ambitions or their higher level apprenticeships, degree level apprenticeships. So we are very firmly at the moment involved in writing personal statements. So a lot of my time is spent working with students like yourselves and planning their goals and their kind of direction for the next few years to make sure they can be the very best they can be. Okay, so why get involved in the Seren network at all? You've obviously taken the opportunity to be invited and have accepted that opportunity. So what is it that you can expect over the next few years from the Cardiff Hub? Primarily, it's engagement in some super curricular activities. Now, there will be, I'm sure, a plan of activities available within your own sixth forms, and that's great, and you should take advantage of that. But this is to give that little bit of additionality. So many of our students that are involved with Seren will have very high ambitions and they will be very well motivated in order to make sure that they achieve those ambitions. So actually taking part in some activities where you will come together and share those ambitions and not feel at all limited, or sometimes I've met students who feel a little bit shy to explain and to discuss those ambitions, and actually coming together with other people that are equally as motivated, equally as driven, enables you to potentially push that little bit harder to make sure you're actually achieving the success that you clearly want. And that's all about achieving your potential. So striving to be as good as you can be, and going beyond that if you possibly can. Obviously, going through the next few months, your application and your thoughts around universities or what your next steps might be can be quite daunting. You're doing it for the first time. Sometimes there will be no experience within your family. So we support that ambition and we support that application process. So there will be a number of events to discuss what personal statements look like if you are applying to some of the most selective universities. There will be various seminars that you can attend to actually look through that step by step, speak to students who've gone through the process, and just to develop your understanding to make sure that you are going to be in a position to submit the best possible application that you can. If part of that application process involves actually preparing for selective admissions tests, then they're very different to a lot of the things that you will have done before or experienced as part of your A-level courses. So again, preparation, planning and practice prior to those admissions tests will be really vital to make sure that you can put your best foot forward, if you like, and do as well as possible on those admissions tests. Another thing that's probably quite critical is that as you're moving towards the next step, I know we're only 6 weeks into your sixth form, but actually developing that sense of independence, having a clear or becoming clearer your ambitions for the future, being independently and intrinsically motivated to take those next steps is really, really vital. So it's just a process that we will guide you through for the next sort of 2 years to just becoming that sort of independently driven student who will go on to be successful in whatever field they choose to participate in. And that final bit about, yes, achieving your potential, but stretching yourself. You know, a student in the past, as before Seren was kind of in its infancy, was just saying that she never knew how good she could be. She wasn't really stretched, didn't know how far she could go. Well, this is to try and challenge that and actually see what it is, you know, you're aiming for, and to help you get to that, you know, that ultimate goal. Okay, so what can you expect from us over the next year or more? And as I've said already, some of the events that I've been holding for Year 13 so far this year have been those university test preparation sessions. So for things like the UCAT or BMAT, if you're interested in medicine, for example, or the PAT, the PAT test for physics. There have been others for other subjects. Sometimes we prepare them and put them on ourselves and host them within Cardiff. Sometimes for some of the more niche subjects, we'll set up a hub, a link with another hub, and we'll facilitate those preparation sessions that way. Another masterclasses in a variety of subjects. So it may be that you're invited to participate in, for example, a philosophy masterclass. And again, it's just about bringing people with similar interests together, often with a lecturer or a PhD student, to actually start having debates, discussing, pulling apart subjects, and actually having that kind of higher level conversation and engagement with a subject that you are particularly interested in. As we go further into the year, I'm anticipating in November, we will be running interview preparation sessions for the students who may have interviews at very selective universities. So again, the more preparation and the more facilitation we can do to enable you to be as prepared as possible. And sometimes these things that can't be running in your school environment, we'll take you out of that environment to give you as real a preparation as we can and try and get you in the best shape possible. There will come during the year as well some applications for residential opportunities, and again we'll be trying to share this information with you as early as possible, because they are selective. There aren't places for everybody. But for example, the Yale Young Global Scholars Scheme, this is a student in the picture called Yusuf, who is from my school, applied to the Yale scheme and also the Sutton Trust scheme 2 years ago, and ended up being successful in gaining a place at Harvard, fully funded place. But that came from going on the residential schemes as part of Seren and actually being just totally bowled over with the American education system. So yeah, advice about the US systems as well, that will follow as part of the programme. There are summer school opportunities offered by Jesus College. There was a Bath opportunity this year. There was a Bristol University opportunity. So all of these schemes we will be offering. We can't guarantee places, and it's about you getting engaged with that process to submit the applications that you need and making sure that you're staying connected to make sure that you see these opportunities coming through and then make a decision about submitting an application. What we don't provide, and I think it's probably worth saying, we cannot provide a guarantee of getting our students an Oxbridge interview, or certainly not an Oxbridge place. We can do all of this preparation and we can support the applications, but we don't have, it's not a kind of bypassing the system to be able to secure Oxbridge places. It was, again, I had a parent a couple of years ago in my own school thinking that's what would happen, but I have to say at this point that isn't a guarantee I can offer, I'm afraid. We also can't guarantee to meet the needs of every student in terms of some of those masterclasses, for example, because we have hundreds of students in the Cardiff hub, and we can't meet, you know, every niche course that they may be interested in. There are very generic courses that we will provide, and I would suggest that students get involved in some of these, because any kind of discussion, any kind of academic discussion is a useful discussion at this stage. And that gets on to the last point, really. We provide these opportunities and we market them. What we cannot do is chase individual students. We're looking for our young people to be committed, to be motivated, to make sensible choices around their time management, and actually be choosy, pick and choose the events that they think would give them some benefit, and get them engaged and get them interested. It shouldn't be an onerous task to actually take part in these activities, but we will offer, we won't chase, and we will always share information with our schools, with our linked schools. And you've got, fantastic sixth form teachers who actually support the day-to-day running of the Seren Academy actually in their schools. Okay, so really my top tips for a Cardiff Seren student for the next year is to very much keep in touch with your school teacher, your head of sixth form, and your hub coordinator, which is myself. Look for the emails that we will share with you. They come out quite regularly as we get opportunities presented from Welsh Government or from our various partners. We will share them with you, because often some of these opportunities are quite time sensitive. So there may be quite a short application process. So you need to be engaging and making sure that you see these messages when they come, and they're flagged, so you're aware of what dates you need to be responding by. And then the next two suggestions there might sound a little bit of a contradiction. So on one hand, I'm saying be selective about the events you choose to engage with, but actually take the opportunities. So what I mean by that is you don't have to jump at everything and try and get 10 different work experience placements, do every MOOC that's available, participate in every masterclass. You don't have to do that to make your personal statement any more positive than anyone else's. But what you do have to do is take the important opportunities. Make sure you can manage your time. A Seren student is attractive because you have academic potential. You have already proved that at level 2 at GCSE, and you will go on to secure high grades at A level, all being well. So nothing will replace the grades and the level that you would need to reach to be able to access selective university places. However, you would need more than that. So you'd need some of that level of supercurricular engagement to demonstrate that you're able to work at that level, but you engage on a deeper level with the other opportunities that have been presented. So you don't have to do everything, but you have to do relevant activities that will support your application and support your ambition. And research broadly. This is the time, particularly in year 12, to actually look around, keep your mind open. You absolutely don't have to be fully aware of what it is that you're going to apply to next year, but you need to be starting to have a think about it. So looking at university websites, looking at some degree level apprenticeships that may be available, getting engaged with some of these activities. And I've known students to not have a clear path, not be absolutely certain, but by taking part in a debating activity or getting involved in a masterclass or a residential project, that's just clarified their thought process and given them a really clear steer about where they're aiming, what subject they're particularly interested in and they're really passionate about. So it's about researching broadly and keeping your options open. And then finally, my top tip is once you start to understand the courses that you're looking for, the university places that you're looking for, understand if there are entry requirements, because the sooner you're clear about that, the sooner you can start preparing, because some of the additional entry tests that are put in front of you are difficult. They don't necessarily look like an A-level examination that you will have come across before. So preparation for those is key. Accessing the preparation sessions that we're able to provide, doing your own research, doing past papers, meeting with peers to actually compare information and share that information, share your learning style, share your revision tips. Anything like that that you can get ahead on will benefit you in the long run. Okay, so they're my 5 top tips. I'm certainly available for any email correspondence after this session. If anybody wishes to get in touch with me, we'll share all of our email addresses. And the next date for you guys is the 29th of October if you're interested in applying for the Seren Award, and that information will be shared as part of the presentation today. So from me, I'd like to wish you the very best of luck as you embark on your Seren journey. We've had amazing success stories over the last few years, and long may that continue. So take every opportunity that you can. Be the very best you can be, aim high, and fingers crossed you will have a very much more normal and successful 2 years. Thank you very much.